Good afternoon and welcome to Omnibroslive, your source for everything Omnibros. And I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault on YouTube, joined this morning by Gabe from Gabe Infinity Watch. Gabe, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good, everybody. Glad to be here. Happy Mother's Day to probably the 1% of the women that watch us who might be moms. And tell your mom, everybody out there, tell your mom I said, what's up?
What's up, moms out there? And actually, since you said Mother's Day, well, wait, first let's give a shout out to our sponsor, InStockTrades.com, before we forget and launch into Mother's Day, because InStockTrades.com is where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts have a 2% off on them, and this weekend they have a Marvel 3% off sale, and it does stack with your 2% off, so you can get Marvel editions for like extra percentages off. I wish I had some Marvel I wanted because I could get lots off on that. Every quarter there's an Omnibroslive discount code, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. Wait, over $50 in an order in the United States gets you free shipping. That's InStockTrades.com. Ding, 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 ding. There we go.
Best packaging ever, too.
That is correct. And I will be using it tomorrow because I just sold something on eBay, and I will be reusing IST packaging for that.
Yeah, I've been selling a bunch of stuff on eBay too, and yeah, I've been hoarding foam inserts for a while.
Worlds in Ink says I seem a bit tired this morning. Yeah, actually, I slept a little too late. And when I sleep too late, I wake up groggy. So I'm sorry you're picking up on that, but I am a little. I've already had 3 cups of coffee, and I'm just. I'm trying to wake up.
So you gotta move on and start taking some meth, Jess.
Meth. I took my meds, and they should be kicking in, but
is there caffeine in your meds?
No, there's they're for my knees, so there's pain meds in them. But and Joe Chip says I look as fresh as a rose. Thank you, Joe Chip. Speaking of Mother's Day, Gabe, do you have your exact quote? I thought that quote was an amazing quote. Do you want to read it?
What was it I said? I said,
well, I can pull it right. And well, let's see. Wait, I can go back to the chat and pull it because I thought it was a really good quote, and it was such a good quote. I thought some famous author wrote it, and it was you that wrote it.
You're like, who came up with that? I go, that was all me, and everyone was surprised. I'm like, what? Really? You came up with something that didn't have the word motherfucker in
it? Well, you put it in quotes, so I thought you pulled it from something else. Says the comic book community today be like, Happy Mother's Day. Moms are our real superheroes, but we still hate the idea of women writing comics. And that was all Gabe. And yeah. I thought that was extremely good. I was like, hey, who wrote that? That's really good. And Gabe was like, that's all me, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hear that stuff all the time working in a comic book store. You get a lot of people coming in with their different opinions and things like that. There's still people who I talk to who are like, hey, did you like Endgame? I go, yeah, I thought Endgame was pretty good. I need to see it again and process it some more because there's a lot to take in. I was like, but what do you thought about it? Oh, we loved it, but that's about it. It's kind of that scene with all the females together in one shot was kind of forced. And I was like, all right, cool. So, yeah, you kind of still get that idea and that mentality. And then I didn't think
it was forced. I thought it was badass. I want to see a movie with just those women in it wrecking havoc throughout the universe.
And it's great. And that kind of all-female like lineup has been around since the beginning of comics for the most part. But also since the beginning of comics has always been the idea of, oh, women can't write comics. Women can't. Because a woman, it's a female writer who writes the new Thanos that came out just recently. And, you know, I hear it from people all the time. Oh, a woman can't write Thanos. This is garbage immediately. So that mentality has always been out there. It's still out there today. It's been a part of the whole stupid Comicsgate mantra mentality that's been going on as well. But it's just funny seeing, you know, those same people that think that way about women and how they can't write comics because they're women. Also today go, we love moms. Moms are the best. But you can't write comic books. Don't you dare write Spider-Man. Don't you dare write Thanos. Don't you dare, you know. It is what it is. It's there today.
Well, I could name off a ton of female writers that are great, but I mean, we can start with Kelly Thompson, who just freaking nails to the wall everything great. Her Jessica Jones is just awesome, but I mean, we always talk about female writers and how great they are.
Yeah. Well, at least you try to.
Yeah, we try to anyway.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. I'm facing the wrong way. I'm facing a different way this time. So, but actually, I don't know. I don't need to list off a name of writers because we always talk about female writers because we talk about writers that are good and they don't need to be separate from male writers. They just fall into the writers category.
Yeah.
And I would love to see A-Force be made a movie. If they could figure out what's that character's name that she's
that cosmic one, the kind of
the really cosmic one. I can't think. I always forget her name. It's like Serenity, or she's got the stars in her, and she's really cool. I
always forget about that one as well.
Yeah, in A-Force, and I can't think of her name, but
I think A-Force would be a really fun Disney Plus series. Like, I think a series of that would be really excellent too. But I mean, yeah, the female writer's been around since the beginning of comics. I mean, going back as far as like Marie Severin.
Yeah.
That I could think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there was some DC female writers from the Golden Age that I don't know a lot about, or Silver Age. But yeah, Marie Severin, I mean, Louise Simonson, or I forgot what her maiden name was when she first started writing comics. But yeah, Marie Severin, Gail Simone today, Sophie Campbell today, Kelly Sue, Kelly Thompson. I'm blanking right now, but yeah.
Mr. Awesome, I have that A-Force Marvel Legends set too. Oh, and Mr. Awesome saying it's Synergy.
Is that the right name? That sounds like a weird, like corporate business term. You know,
that sounds like a company. Synergy. Are you sure that's the name, Mr. Awesome?
Like, you know what we need here for this company to get together and bring ourselves together? We need some synergy.
Yeah, I don't think it's Synergy. It's something else. I have that A-Force Marvel Legends set too.
Was it Louise Jones? Was it Jones her last name before?
I don't remember, but Louise Simonson had a lot to do with the Death of Superman issue.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, she was writing Superman for a long time at that point. I mean, she was writing New Mutants and was it X Factor as well? Like before she went to DC. Yeah, I mean, you even have. Think of even some of the female artists we got today. Like I said, like Sophie Campbell. You have.
This is gonna kill me.
Allred.
Let me go get that A-Force Legends set. This is gonna bug me. I gotta go get it and see what her name is.
How about we just Google it real quick? We're gonna do that live. Googling, everybody. And we got, of course, Giola Wilson. I've seen her name pop up on here now that I Googled A-Force. Where's the freaking list of the women on here? Characters. Singularity.
Oh, you guys just had to ruin the moment for me. I went all the way into my inner closet to get Singularity.
And just went into his closet.
Yeah, I went into my closet. Here she is up here, Singularity. But this would be a badass Disney thing.
Yeah, especially with Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah,
and they already introduced Monica Rambeau for the most part in Captain Marvel.
She-Hulk, Sif.
Sith's already been around. Yeah, so a lot of those characters are still here. I mean, all the God, what was Black Panther's sister's name? I forgot. That was in the movie.
Shuri?
Shuri, there you go.
Yeah, she's God, I love that scene where Shuri and Black Panther showed back up. I just love the look on his face. This is a cool set. I love this set. Look it up on eBay and tell me it's worth $500.
I haven't doubted it because I think that was a San Diego exclusive, right?
Oh, wasn't? It doesn't say that on it. No, wait, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, 5, 6 on here. I don't know. It doesn't say San Diego on it. Mine, unfortunately, was the victim of the flood, so it's a little flood damaged box. But the figures are okay.
It's a 2017 San Diego exclusive. Most people are asking right now $60 for it, but then there's also idiots out there asking $200 for it. So, what's it selling at though?
That's cool. I think it cost me $60, so that's all right.
It's about 100. Well, the last sale in April was 113.
Well, I wouldn't sell it.
160.
I wouldn't sell it. So, because I loved A-Force.
Somebody bought the box, just the box alone, for $8.
Oh, I can get a new box. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what I need. Dirty hot dog waterful. That is some name. We are going to talk about the fake issue 1000 cash grab in the news. But right now we're talking about A-Force and women in comics. It really shouldn't even be an issue. I mean, women are writers. They should just be writers. We shouldn't even be singling them out. They're writers. They're good writers, and it shouldn't even be a topic. They're writers.
I think it'd be funny if they just as like a gag or just kind of like a social experiment, put out a bunch of comics that didn't have creators' names in the books and just said writer, artist, and maybe just pull a fast one. But hey, it's all females, and you liked it, so haha, suckers.
Oh, and you had to judge it on the content and not the writer? Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good idea.
Kind of used to when they didn't give credit to creators back in the early days.
Yeah. Highlighter says, what's the verdict on free comic book day comics this year? My LCS still has several. What to get? I thought this was the best free comic book day in a while. Fortunately, Nash Villains was kind enough to get me some because my LCS is a madhouse on free comic book day, and he got me my favorite thing is monsters sheets. There's a Goon one. There's a oh shoot, they're all upstairs. I didn't bring them downstairs. There's a Stranger Things crossover with what's the series that Jeff Lemire has going on that's so great now? Black Hammer. There's a Black Hammer one. There's a Deadly Class one shot that's got new material. This is one of the best ones ever. Mr. Awesome, yeah, I did see Punisher Warzone, but I don't feel it's fair to give a review without Luis on, since he's the one that goaded me into watching it. So I'll probably review it next Sunday when Luis is on. He has a Mother's Day thing that he's doing, and so does Gio. So they have Mother's Day things. I will say it was worth the 2 hours in my life, or the hour and a half in my life, worth watching it. I do not want that hour and a half back, which is how I judge movies if I want my time back. And I was afraid that I was going to want my time back. Because
it's a great movie.
Yeah, it was fun. I will say it was fun, but I won't dissect it until Luis gets back.
The rocket launcher was the best part of that movie.
That was pretty funny.
I lost my mind when I saw that.
I did not expect that. When he said rocket launcher, I was like, what does the rocket launcher do? And then I was like, whoa.
So back on Free Comic Book Day titles, there is... Free Comic Book Day is always used as a big promotional thing for the Big Two's upcoming set of new material or storylines and crossovers. So it's not a free comic book day. It's a quarter book that came out the week of free comic book day. It's DC's Year of the Villains, and that's a big setup. It's written by Scott Snyder. Jimmy Chung actually did some work in a DC comic for once. Greg Capullo did some work in there as well, and it's setting up the next apparently year of DC's big events. So that's a good one to check out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did a Spawn is very close to issue 300. It's only like 2 issues away from 300. So there's a free comic book day that reprinted Spawn #1. So that's always fun. And then Marvel's big push is for Absolute Carnage. And that was a free comic book day that sets up the lead into Absolute Carnage. And it's a really fun book too. So if you're into Carnage or the Venom storyline right now, which has been great. Donny Cates has really turned around the Venom universe or the Venom character and that whole franchise. So that's a good one to pick up because that does lead into the next big event and crossover for Carnage and Venom.
Chris M says it looks like you're riding in a stagecoach. Can you put your laptop on a solid surface at all, or is it on your lap?
It's on my lap. Sorry, I got like restless leg syndrome or something. I shake my legs a lot. But I'll put it on my gut. My fat gut. And so it won't move so
no, you barely got any gut. You lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, that's true.
Hi guys, what are your thoughts on the American Vampire Omni? It's an awesome book, awesomely awesome, which is great. The only thing that's first of all, I have all the standard hardcovers. The only thing that's keeping me from getting it is DC's tendency to cancel after one Omni. So I would wait until the second Omni is for sure solicited and you know it's coming out. No, I would wait until the second Omni is out in print to get the first and second Omnis together. And
buy them at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. DC has a tendency to cancel Omnis like right after they are after they've been started. So as much as I love American Vampire, and I love it, it is a vampire tale like no other. Scott Snyder just rips it out of the ballpark on that one. I would wait until the second one is in print to get that.
Yeah, because you don't want to. It happens a lot. It's happened to it's probably everybody. Probably happened to everybody on this show, especially because I think we all bought or was about to buy that unwritten hardcover, and then that got canceled. There's nothing worse than just having the first volume of a great series in hardcover or an omnibus form, and then knowing you're never going to get the rest of it. So, same thing with Bendis. That happens a lot with Bendis books, especially with Powers. I wanted to get that Powers omnibus, but that's out of print now too. But we're never going to get a second Powers Marvel omnibus. So
that thing is sitting lonely on my shelf.
Yeah.
Dirty Hot Water Dogful. Just last night I told Tom King about your channel. Thank you. And said you've been reading comics 50 plus years and that you said his Batman run was your Batman favorite. He said, damn, his Alzheimer's must be starting. LOL. Come on, Tom. You should be checking out my channel and seeing how great I think you are.
Well, Tom and Mitch Garrett, because they're going to be in the store in August. We got a signing with them setting up pretty soon too.
Tom King's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's fun.
He is a great guy to see at a con or a comic book store. He is super nice.
Yeah, and he likes to be there. You could tell he's having a good time being there and meeting all of his fans and things like that. So he's a good guy. Good guy. Thanks, Jesse. Jesse says what gave me some props in the chat. So
hey, what you guys think? Marvel reprints Bendis Daredevil? No. Or Uncanny X Factor by Remender? No.
No, it's not gonna happen.
No, you should just get the complete collections for that. Cat Tree and Jarmo Tube. Just get the complete collections for that. We should get Tom King on the channel. I bet he'd do it.
I've asked him before. He doesn't like doing interviews. Not interviews, but like being on camera.
We'll just tell him it's a podcast then, and he doesn't have to be videoing it.
Well, I'll ask him.
So
I'll bring it up.
he's video shy, huh? We've got some of those guys.
We get that all the time. Yeah, Derek Robertson was like that too. He said he didn't want to be on video, and I was like, "Hey man, then just turn your video off. We can still do it." And then I should swing back around and follow up with him and see if he's in for that.
Do you guys think the Hush Omnibus will ever be released? I actually do think, and Gabe thinks so too. I actually do think that will be released.
Yeah, it's going to happen. That was just a victim of DC's restructuring of their apparent restructuring of their collected editions lineup.
Yeah, I agree with
that. A lot
that.
of stuff got canceled, but not canceled. It was just like they have to cancel it because it's not coming out. And it's a weird thing to do with ordering and having to so basically, just real quick, a little bit of insider behind the curtains kind of thing. When a company solicits something and they're late or any changes are made to it, like a single issue or a comic or omnibus or things like that, if there's any discrepancies with it not showing up on time or they change things up, like some of the artist or the writer on that issue, it automatically becomes returnable to Diamond. So if I order 50 copies of that book and I only sell 5 copies of it, I'm actually able to return the rest of them for basically a full refund of my cost. And they don't like to do that, which is why you never see a lot of books. You'll see a lot of comic book stores complain how books are not returnable. So when we order comic books in the store, we pay for them up front and they're not returnable. So we have to either sell them or eat it. So when things like this happen, and if it's not going to make it on time or if it's late, we can actually return it back to Diamond, and they don't like it when that happens because they're out that money. So instead of it falling into a returnable status, they just cancel all the orders and then resolicit it later, if that makes sense.
So that's why they had to cancel.
That's why they do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
or else everybody that ordered the omnibus can just return it because it showed up late. So now they're going to resolicit it with a new release date, and they'll meet that release date. I forgot what the new release date is. I think it's in October. And then they don't have to worry about it being returnable or anything like that.
Yeah. So I think it will get redone.
So yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, it's Batman Hush. I mean, there's an animated movie coming out for it. It's one of the evergreen titles, Batman titles or storylines. It's Jim Lee, it's Paul Dini. There's a handful of other great artists and writers in there as well. So it's going to be a great book. I can't wait. I'm sad it got canceled or resolicited, but it will come out. Same thing happened with the Alan Moore Swamp Thing Absolute, but that will be coming out also.
Catherine Jarmo Tube, great question. So what's the logic of Marvel reprinting Omnis? We don't know.
Marvel and logic just doesn't match up.
We don't know what's going on in either collected edition department. Like the Punisher Omnibus was a $500 book forever on eBay, and then boom, all of a sudden it gets reprinted. And what are some other? I mean, there were some other things that were.
Brubaker's Daredevil. They weren't super expensive books. They were still fairly obtainable.
Right.
They reprinted those, but they haven't reprinted
those.
Bendis's Daredevil.
They haven't done Bendis.
They keep reprinting Amazing Spider-Man omnibuses, but they haven't done Annihilation.
Right. And they will redo Amazing Spider-Man, even though 1, 2, and 3 are out of are 1, 2, and 3 out of print.
Yes,
I know 3 is. Yeah, they will redo those. So they will not let those stay out of print long. So if you're jonesing for those, just be patient. They will redo those. But Fantastic Four #1 by Hickman, who knows?
Yep. I mean, they reprinted Fantastic Four, the Silver Age stuff, the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff. They reprinted Amazing Spider-Man, and those are about the only Silver Age omnibuses that they keep reprinting. They keep them in stock. They don't do that with XMen. They don't do that with Thor. They don't do that with Hulk or any of the other Silver Age books, but they do it with Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. So there's really, whatever their logic is or whatever their planning is, it doesn't make sense to us.
But it makes sense to them somehow. Yeah, so if you're, I would just go ahead and get the complete collections. That I feel like they just feel like the complete collections are enough of the things that are out of print.
I mean, if you want to read the series right now of any of these books that are out of print, get whatever format is out there that you can still be able to find and read and not spend a crap load of money on. And then if they ever reprint the omnibus, just get rid of the other ones. Just get rid of, you know, the complete collections later down the road.
I would venture that we would see before we see Stan Lee's X-Men get reprinted, we would see Claremont's X-Men get reprinted. I bet
that happens too. That's been reprinted a few times, I think.
Yeah.
Volume 1.
Although I think there's a huge segment of people that want to see that Stan Lee X-Men. I don't know that Marvel thinks there's a huge segment of people that want to see it. They think
I believe you, because they haven't reprinted the omnibus, which is super expensive right now. And like I said, usually, you know, just go find the next best format, which would be the Epic collections. But that Volume 1 Epic collection's out of print and goes for like $100. So doesn't make sense. They haven't reprinted anything to do with that Silver Age stuff.
Yeah, which is too bad.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want a Hulk omnibus or you want the Mighty Thor omnibus, they're a little pricey right now. They're like that $300 mark. Just get the Epic collections. I think those are still out there and still easy to find. And nothing makes sense. We've tried in the community. We kind of try to come up with, oh, well, hey, here's what we think is going to happen. Oh, it's going to get reprinted because a movie's coming out, like Infinity Gauntlet. We thought that with Endgame and Infinity War, it would make sense to reprint the Infinity Gauntlet omnibus. I mean, they did that sizzle reel of how they were putting together Infinity War, and they kept showing the Infinity Gauntlet omnibus and had all these like sticky notes inside of it. So you knew that they were using direct material from that storyline in that omnibus for the movie, but we never got an Infinity War omnibus. So it used to be like, oh, there's a movie coming out, so they're going to reprint the omnibus, or maybe you'll get an omnibus of an upcoming movie. But that theory's been shot out of the water. That's definitely no clear reasoning on anything right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let those Epic collections go out of print. Yeah. I would think those would be evergreen. I think. I mean,
the trade paperbacks, I mean, how hard? It can't be that expensive to reprint them.
Yeah. Let's see. I saw something. Dirty Hot Dog Waterfall. I have not seen a rumor of New 52 Detective Comics Omni. I haven't seen any rumors of that. The Tony Daniels run.
Oh no, it's coming out.
A New 52 Detective Omni.
Yeah. Tony Daniels stuff. Yeah, that was announced a long time ago. I even talked to Tony about it before.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, okay, I'm wrong. Dirty Hot Dog Waterfall. It's not. You really need to shorten your name, dude. That's a mouthful.
We'll just call him Dirty Hot Dog for now.
Dirty Hot Dog. Yeah. Okay. Good. That's what I'm. Good shortening. Okay, it's not a rumor. It's coming.
Yeah, it's been solicited and everything. He did a new cover or a new image for the cover, and everything. So yeah, that's
I actually liked that run. I thought he did a good job on that run.
No, he did everything with it. He wrote it. He drew it.
Yeah.
He came up with the idea. I believe so. I talked to him about it at lunch. He came up with the idea of cutting Joker's face off. All that good stuff. So yeah, that's a good run. Well, I mean, now that I think about New 52 Omnibus, they did reprint that Batman and Robin one.
Eternal?
No,
you mean Tomasi's run?
Yeah, the Tomasi stuff, correct.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Batman Eternal. But do we know about Batman and Robin Eternal? That hasn't been solicited, has it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'd like to see that because I enjoyed that. I loved Batman Eternal. Just because I think that's when Snyder was really clicking with Batman. It wasn't as good as his Batman. But Batman Eternal was still good Snyder Batman.
Yeah, X-Men, Claremont's X-Men, the Claremont Jim Lee stuff needs to get reprinted for people. Those things are really getting expensive. Even Volume 2, which is usually easy to find, is creeping up in price right now too. Wolverine Epic Collection Volume 1 is out of print. Yeah, a lot of these epics are going out of print. They're getting really pricey right now. Like we were talking about it before with Omar. Silver Surfer Volume 1, which reprints all the Fantastic Four appearances, is out of print. The Infinity Gauntlet Silver Surfer Epic is out of print. Wolverine stuff is out of print. So I don't know. You know, maybe they're just, you know, hey, we made our money off of this. We're just going to move on.
ETL says, I found that Batman Eternal a slog. The Batman and Robin Eternal was better. ETL and I usually agree on everything, but here we differ. It's a tragedy.
I didn't read either of those storylines because they were weekly series, and I just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can see what ETL's saying. ETL and I agree on sweaters, though, so that's cool.
Cardigans?
Well, he likes my sweater collection, so he gets a pass on pretty much all of his opinions.
It's so easy to placate Jez. Just talk about
just like my wardrobe, and you know, thoughts on JMS SpiderMan Omnibus. If you don't have the books already, I think everybody loves the idea of that being an Omni.
Yeah, who was it? It's Raph from the Omnibus Collectors group. He's usually in these shows. I forget what his online name is.
Nash Villains.
Nash Villains. Yeah, there you go. He got it and he posted up a bunch of pictures of it. It looks great. I got mine at the store. It's still at the store. I haven't picked it up yet. But the inside cover, like when you take the dust jacket off, is awesome. It's that really amazing 2-page spread that John Romita Jr. did of Spider-Man fighting all of his villains. It's awesome. It's such a great inside cover. And that's just a great run in general. I think that's a very pinnacle run. It was doing great for a really long time. And then everybody has their controversy and their opinions on like One More Day and stuff like that. Or the whole Spider Tome kind of thing with Ezekiel. But I think it's great. It's a lot of great stories. JMS did a great job rebranding the idea of Peter Parker. That's when he became like a substitute teacher. J. Scott Campbell did a long run of the art in there, which really kind of reset the idea and the image for a lot of the female characters, and even Spider-Man himself. He did a great job designing them. His Mary Jane is one of the best Mary Janes ever.
Oh, tell these guys what you know about all the sexy covers he does.
Oh, if there's a J. Scott Campbell sexy cover that you see out there, it's his wife. His new wife, is basically his model or his go-to reference for Mary Jane or any very attractive female. That homeboy, he hit the jackpot. His wife is beautiful, and she's extremely kind, and she's a very talented artist herself.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I'll link you to her Instagram or whatever. She does a great artwork herself.
Is that how they met?
She is, from my understanding, and I hope nobody runs with this because this is hearsay, and I heard this a long time ago.
Don't. If it's hearsay, don't repeat it then.
She was a fan, and they met at a convention or something like that, and they just fell in love. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So Jess and Gabe, which one would you choose, Miller's Daredevil or Wade's Daredevil? Have you never read Daredevil at all before, Katri and Jarmotube? Give us a little background on your Daredevil knowledge.
I'm not sure the gender of this person, I'm sorry, but that was a question that was asked earlier before we started to like just the chat in general. And apparently they're a fan of older art. So I would say the Miller stuff. Yeah,
I would say Miller stuff too then, if you like. I mean, that's the... No, not at all. Oh, then I would start with Miller's Daredevil because he reset the whole thing that everything else is based off of. And then you can get Bendis in a complete collection, and then get Brubaker in Omni, and then you go from there.
Yeah, the Wade stuff is great though. You definitely want to get the Wade stuff at one point for sure.
Can he get the Wade stuff not having read Brubaker and Bendis though?
Yes.
Okay, so the Wade stuff can be read on its own in your
It can
opinion.
be read on its own. The thing with the Wade stuff, though, versus like Bendis or Miller, Bendis and Miller's Daredevil is very like dark and gritty and crime noir-ish, where Wade stuff is a little more happy-go-lucky swashbuckling adventures. So there is going to be a change of pace between those two segments of that.
But it can be read on its own.
Definitely.
Okay.
Wade does a great job of, you get the basic idea of Daredevil through Wade's run, and you get a lot of fun stuff out of that too.
Jake Knapp, Jester Gabe, have you read Gideon Falls? I just read book 2 yesterday, and it's top-notch stuff. Yesterday, I posted on my channel, Jake Knapp. I thought you were a subscriber to me. As a matter of fact, I just posted a review. Oh, wait. Did I do... I can't remember if I did Gideon Falls. Yeah, I did Gideon Falls yesterday. There's that Alzheimer's again. Yeah, I did Gideon Falls yesterday, and you're right. It is one of the best books on the stands. It is amazing. Amazing stuff. Great horror, great psychological thriller. Twists and turns like you can't believe, and you got to let it wash over you. Don't let it confuse you at all, because it's got a lot of twists and turns, and you just got to keep going through it because it all keeps making sense the more you read through it. It's one of those things where you've got the pins and the board and the strings going everywhere, and then you go, oh, that's what it means. And you just keep going through it. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing had 4 or 5 trades that eventually come out for it, because he's going a lot of different places with it. This is Jeff Lemire, and it is fantastic.
I don't think I've ever read anything by Jeff Lemire, especially like his DC Marvel stuff, that hasn't been fantastic. I think some of his Marvel stuff might be is kind of hit and miss. Like some of his Hawkeye stuff wasn't the best. His Moon Knight stuff was good, but everything he's done on his own, like Sweet Tooth, Essex County, Underwater Welder, things like that, is always top notch stuff.
Jake Knapp, actually, I apologize to you. Highlighter's right. I did Rose and High Crimes yesterday. I recorded 2 videos and haven't posted the second one. The second one I will post tomorrow. The second one I did Highlighter's right. The first one had Rose and High Crimes yesterday. The second one has me talking about Gideon Falls, and I'm posting that tomorrow or Tuesday. So I apologize to you, Jake Knapp, and you were at work all day yesterday. Don't apologize to me. I'm just teasing you anyway. But I review Gideon Falls on a video that's coming out tomorrow or Tuesday. Thank you, Highlighter, for watching the show and correcting me, as I forgot I did 2 videos yesterday, and I'm spreading them out.
Plus, it's YouTube, so you can always go back and watch it later.
And Kristen's right. Plutonia is the bad one. Ugh. I've
heard a lot of negative stuff about Plutonia. That's right. So much that I've kind of just forgotten about it.
Yeah, I ripped it in something. I can't remember how. I read it so long ago. I don't remember if I poured root beer on it. It was so bad. I might have. It was really awful. It's not in my collection anymore. So I either gave it away or poured root beer on it and threw it away.
I think you gave it away. I think I remember you doing that.
Oh, okay.
But forget about Plutonia, and you can always just go right on in Descender.
Yeah.
Now that the new series is up too.
Plutonia's the only mediocre thing he's written. He has a huge batting average for everything else. Everything else he's written has been top notch, and he writes at a remarkable pace. He's got like 4 or 5 things out there right now that are ongoing, and everything's great.
We got to do a creator spotlight. We haven't done those in a while, and I think Jeff Lemire is a perfect one to kind of do again, or to do.
I agree,
because there's a lot of good stuff to talk about, so we don't have to really negate anything. You can mention Plutonia, and that that's when we don't enjoy. But there's so much more good stuff to talk about. Yeah, I think he's a creator that a lot of people are still kind of sleeping on. As great as his stuff is and as popular as he is, I don't see his name mentioned as much as a lot of people's stuff, as much as he should be mentioned. Because
when you write
Sweet Tooth is one of the best books out there, just period.
when 12 out of your 13 books are awesome, you can give them a pass on that 13th book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but Kristen's right. Kristan and I have pretty much the same taste in books, except her extensive knowledge, being the indie queen that she is. She's read a lot more indie stuff than I have. I thought I read a lot of indie stuff, but Kristen's got that market under her control.
Yeah, she has that on lock.
On a lock, yeah. Let's see. We've got a Spider-Man big question. I'm prepping a Spider-Man readathon with Dan Slott. I already have Spider-Man Big Time Complete Collections 1 through 4. Does that include Spider Island? Oh, I think this got answered in the chat. If so, is it the same material as Spider Island hardcover? Let's see. I think that got mentioned. Let's see. Highlighter said volume 3 is out of print. I don't think his Spider Island question got answered. Does include Spider Island? If it does, does anybody know the answer? I don't know the answer to that Spider Island question. Does anybody? Can anybody answer TJ Clone's Spider Island question?
Oh, was he asking if Spider Island is a part of the complete collections?
He's asking. Let's see. Does that include? Yeah, he's saying I have Spider-Man Big Time Collections 1 through 4. Does that include Spider Island? If so, is it the same material as Spider Island hardcover? I don't know the answer to that one. That whole Spider Island time period in books was very confusing to me. I don't know the answer, says ETL. I don't know a thing about Spider Island. I have the Big Time Collections, but I don't have the Spider Island hardcovers, so I don't know if I can answer that question. Sorry, TJ Clone. Here you come to us for the answers, and we don't have that answer for you. Somebody in the chat, help this guy out. If it was an indie question, Kristan could help you out. Pretend Spider Island's an indie book, and then Kristan can help you out. ETL says, I don't think Spider Island is in those complete collections, but I do think there's some overlap. I think the best thing to do is probably Wikipedia that. I would think that through a little research online. Oh, ETL is going to go get his books and look. Thank you, ETL. I knew the chat could help us out on that one.
Yeah, man, they saved us from that question.
Yeah, thank you. Oh.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm kind of envious that he's doing a big readathon of Dan Slott's Spider-Man stuff. That stuff's great. Like that big time stuff is fantastic. Lots of good stuff in there. And leading into Death of Peter Parker and Superior Spider-Man, that's top-notch writing stuff right there for sure.
Yeah.
And then after the return of Spider-Man and Secret Wars, that's when it gets a little iffy for me a little bit. When he becomes like super rich and he takes over the Baxter building and things like that, gets a little iffy towards the end of his entire run. Well, that's an omnibus I want is a Dan Slott Spider-Man starting from Big Time. Because that's when you get like Agent Venom stuff is in there and like the Flash stuff becoming Venom. That's a fantastic character when you think about it. In the long run with Flash Thompson's addiction. He's an alcoholic and he struggles with addiction. He lost his legs in a war, and then he gets the symbiote suit, which allows him to walk and basically be Spider-Man and still be like a soldier of fortune and stuff like that. But he's only allowed at that time, quote unquote, he's only allowed to use the Venom suit an X amount of times before it permanently bonds with him. But he has that addictive personality and all this kind of trauma and tragedy in his life that makes him want to use the symbiote more and more and more because it gives him his legs back and his ability to be an action hero, basically. So that's just really great character development on Flash's part. And just disappeared on me. I didn't know he left. I thought I was talking to him, but he is gone. Bye, Jess. Anyways, see what else we got going on in the chat right now, eh? Real Slim Shady. Has anybody read Jeff Lenore's Moon Knight run?
Jeff Lemire's?
Says Lenore's. I guess I meant Lemire, excuse me.
Oh, I haven't read Jeff Lenore's Moon Knight, but I've read Jeff Lemire's Moon Knight.
Yeah, Lemire's Knight is good. I don't think you need... Here's one of the things that with Moon Knight that makes him good and complicated of a character is he's all over the place. It's kind of hard to kind of follow a lot of his timeline, especially because he has this multiple personality or multiple character situation going on. But you can always pick up any of those series and kind of get an idea of what's going on. You don't need to read everything with Moon Knight to jump on it anywhere.
Yeah, I read that and I was fine. I agree with Gabe. I just jumped in. I jump into Moon Knight just randomly and I'm always okay. I read Warren Ellis's Moon Knight randomly and loved it. Mm-hmm. I read the Moon Knight by Houston and loved it. I read the Moon Knight by Lemire and I loved it. And I approach Moon Knight the same way I do X-Men. I just go, okay, this stuff must have happened ahead of time. So, okay, I'm fine with it. And I just read it and it's great. So yeah, you can read it and enjoy it. It's this Lemire guy, man.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere and writes everything great.
Moon Knight's always being reinvented, so that's why it's easy to kind of jump on him. I mean, he's kind of same with Daredevil. He gets reinvented a lot too, so it's always kind of easy to jump in on these characters right away. X-Men is a little harder because there's really no reinventing an entire team in storyline and stuff like that. But these characters like Moon Knight and Daredevil, you can kind of almost jump in everywhere. There's not a lot of continuity involved.
I agree with that. Decontrol, welcome. This is the first time he's caught this live. Let's see. Do you guys recommend the Secret Invasion Omnibus? I think that is an event that you can jump right into and it's easy to read and enjoy. That's an event that I personally did not enjoy, but a lot of people did. So you can get it, read it, understand it, and enjoy it. It's one that I didn't dig, so I didn't get it. But you can pick it up and enjoy it. Lots of people liked that one. It was a big event for Marvel. So you can pick it up, but just because I didn't enjoy it doesn't mean you won't enjoy it. I think I'm in the minority of people that didn't enjoy it. I think the majority of Marvel fans liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I do recommend the Omnibus. It has a lot of basically the entire storyline and all the tie-ins and things like that. I liked it a lot because it was a period in Marvel after that point. That's one of my favorite periods of Marvel, where Harry Osborn creates the Dark Avengers, who were really just the Thunderbolts turned into the Avengers, and that whole Dark Reign period after that in Secret Invasion is great. I love that era of Marvel Comics.
And I hate that period, so that's just me.
You don't like Dark Avengers?
No.
Okay.
But see, that's just me.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's the thing on OmniBros. We agree to disagree in a polite and friendly way. That's just not my cup of tea, and it is Gabe's. So, take it for what you will. And I think Gabe probably represents more of the majority of Marvel fans than I do. I think a lot of people like the Dark Avengers, the Dark Reign period and stuff. And they like the Secret Invasion stuff. So, I mean, it was a popular event and a popular storyline. So I would go with it if I were you. Don't listen to me in Marvel. I'm more of a DC guy anyway. So I'm dumb. So Gabe is probably more on the mark than I am.
If anything, check out, borrow, buy it online, digitally, whatever, just the Secret Invasion storyline, which I think is I want to say it's 8 issues. Read that if you're get so enamored into the storyline that you want to know absolutely everything else going on with that storyline, all the kind of satellite stories and ancillary story threads, then pick up the omnibus. But if you just read the 8 issues of Secret Invasion, you go, I think I'm good. I think that's all I need. Then you're good to go. And you didn't have to drop, $75, $100 for the omnibus.
Let's see. ETL has the answer for the spider question. Don't quote me on this. We are quoting you on this. But the only thing that the Spider Island book has that is not in the complete collection is Venom 6 through 9. So we're quoting you on this, ETL, even though you said not to.
I don't think you're going to be missing anything out of those Venom issues either.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you, ETL, for answering that question. Here's a good
doing our work for us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're taking full credit.
Yeah, the answer came on Omnibroslive, so there you go. Let's see. Tom King needs to write a Dr. Fate Limited like Mr. Miracle. That sounds cool, Dirty Hot Dog. That would be good. I love Dr. Fate. Omnibus stays pretty discounted. That must be the Secret Invasion one. ETL, I'll have to cross-reference some material when I get some time. Okay.
Sergio says Grant Morrison doesn't write bad things.
Okay.
We have to agree to disagree on that.
Okay, you're not a Grant Morrison fan?
I am, but he's hit and miss. For me.
Yeah, I would say I like about 75% of the stuff he writes. 75% of the stuff he writes I love, and then 25% of the stuff he writes I just completely don't understand, so I don't have an opinion on it.
Yeah, that's the route I was going to go with. I'm not saying anything he's written has been fundamentally bad. It's just there's the things I like. The things I don't like is because I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
which is
yeah,
fine. I don't get it because he is super deep into Silver Age DC, which is a massive black hole in my comic knowledge, and he thrives hardcore in a lot of that stuff, and I just don't get it.
Well, see, that part I love. It's when he writes the stuff. Where's the crazy?
I mean, you get things like Multiversity that I just don't understand.
Now that I dug completely, of course, because I grew up reading Silver Age DC, and I can read that. But then he'll write something like Annihilation or Annihilators, rather, or that
Nameless. Nameless was a hard one for
Nameless. Nameless. I had no idea what I was reading. And then he's got this whole section in the back of books you need to read to understand the comic book. And I'm like, how much effort am I supposed to go through to understand this comic book? I should just read the comic book and understand the comic book. You want me to actually read other books so I can understand this comic book? How much time in my life do you think I've got left? I don't think so. Yeah,
I tried reading the Invisibles omnibus once, and I think I got through like 3 or 4 issues, and I got a cramp in my brain.
You have to read Invisibles, you have to have the notebook that comes with it to explain all the references and what he's trying to do. That is the only way I understood Invisibles, is by reading the addendum or the compendium that comes with it online. It has, and that thing is massive. It's got, notes for every single page.
Yeah, and that's to me where it gets like, I don't want to read this if I have to do research or have some kind of a prerequisite. I enjoy it where I like when you reference things that happened in continuity, but at least make it obvious that you're referencing it, or obvious, make it part of the story that's understandable. Don't make it where like, oh man, I got to Wikipedia this, or now I got to hunt down these issues, or now I got to ask or try to figure it out. Because then I have to read the book over again and be like, oh, okay, now I got the knowledge to understand this, and that's hard to do.
Yeah,
that's not fun to me. That's not fun.
I think Doom Patrol was probably right on the line of where I can go. as far as I can go and understand and enjoy comics.
It just sounds like sometimes it just feels like he's showing off like his knowledge of comics, and it hurts.
Doom Patrol, I enjoyed. I needed to do some referencing for it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when it came out in floppies. I enjoyed the omnibus. It did take some referencing into the the Dada movement and stuff, but that to me that enriched the experience, and I liked doing that. But that's right on the line. And then Invisibles crosses the line, and Nameless is way over here, like beyond the line, like working in a coal mine type of effort. Like it's just too much.
Yeah. And
then you've got other stuff like Joe the Barbarian, which was great. Happy was great. What else was cool? Well, I liked Multiversity, of course, because I have that Silver Age knowledge, but I get exactly what you're saying.
His current Green Lantern stuff is really is good, but I'm gonna wait for it to be collected. It's very Grant Morrison-y, where you kind of have to read it all at once.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I want to read that all at once. I want to wait for the hardcover. I loved his Wonder Woman a lot. Earth One Wonder Woman, I loved. Of course, Animal Man, I loved. I loved his Batman New 52. I loved his Superman New 52. Wait,
All-Stars great. Yeah,
not Batman New 52. Pre New 52 Batman. Whenever he wrote Batman, I like that. All-Star Superman, I like that a lot.
His Batman and Robin is great.
Batman and Robin is great. Batman, didn't he do Batman Incorporated?
Yeah, that's a part of him. Yep.
Yeah. I loved his I loved All-Star Superman. That's one of my top books of all time, I think. Final Crisis, didn't understand it. As much as I've read it, I still don't fully understand it. Yeah, so actually we might be down to 70%. It might be 30% that I don't understand.
But you don't have to like everything from a creator. I mean, it's not like reading, not like doing like a character readathon where you're trying to read all the books of that character. You don't need to do that with a writer. Just go with the stuff you like and kind of pick and choose a little bit.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum, Dirty Hot Dog. Yeah, I like that book a lot. That was an early landmark type of book for that type of comic book writing. That was a landmark book to pull that off in 1990 or whenever that came out. That was a remarkable book, I think, with the Dave McKean art and stuff. That was an amazing book. He's a writer that I get excited about, and then when I can't understand it, I kind of get mad at myself for not understanding it. But wait, didn't he do some Flash too?
Yeah, he did some Flash.
Yeah, I liked that too. And he had a big hand in DC.
His JLA is really good too.
JLA is great. DC 1 Million, he had a hand in that.
Seven Soldiers? He did Seven Soldiers.
Yeah,
right?
I loved Seven Soldiers. That was really readable.
Highlighter asks, Gabe, do you think Marvel Classic Omnis are now in sync with film releases? I.e., we won't see Uncanny X-Men Volume 4 until an MCU X-Men movie? That was a theory that we've had for a while, that movies or TV shows or anything mainstream media influenced the releases of omnibuses. But apparently that theory has a lot of holes in it because they didn't reprint things like I talked about earlier. They didn't reprint Infinity Gauntlets. They haven't reprinted a lot of the stuff that kind of ties into what the MCU movies were going on about, like Iron Man. We didn't see a reprint of the classic Iron Man stuff. We didn't see a reprint of the classic Hulk stuff or the classic Thor stuff. I think if they do a volume 4 of X-Men, they haven't done a volume 4 on many titles yet. I think Avengers and SpiderMan are the only ones that's gotten a volume 4 so far. I think we'll see it sooner now that they do have the movie rights back for the X-Men. But I don't think it's going to come out when the movie does. I think it'll come out before that. I think just now they have full control over those characters, and they'll be willing to do more printed material of that. But again, I'm skeptical if we're ever going to see a volume 4 of X-Men.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Saukeo Sabute, but The Filth is another book I did not understand and
that was rough. Yeah,
was happy to get rid of.
We 3 is good though. We 3
is great. Yeah, maybe it's back up to 75%.
Yeah,
3's great.
Apparently, we do like a lot of them.
Yeah, we apparently do like a lot. Yeah, so 75%.
Yeah.
Kenny, I've given up on the Arrowverse.
You ready to go? Okay.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah. Well, you can keep going.
No, I got to get going too, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, real quick for Matt Miranda. Yeah, I'm down in LA. He wanted to buy that Hulk 181. Dude, we sold like 3 or 4 Hulk 181s in 3 or 4 days. Like we'd get it in.
Wow.
And we'd gone that day, and they went for stupid prices. The last one we had was a 9.6.
Whoa.
And we sold it for over $19,000.
Holy guacamole.
And again, we had it in the store for like a day. Oh, not we had it in the store for. We got it earlier in the week, but I didn't post it on our Instagram until yesterday, and then it sold.
Wow.
So it works out that way.
Well, before you go, we need to talk about InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add another 2% to that. Today is May 12th, and they have a Marvel sale that tacks on 3% to that. There's always an OmniBros discount code every quarter. Order $50 or more in the United States, and you get free shipping, fabulous packaging, amazing customer service. That's InStockTrades.com.
Real quick before we leave, we got one good question in the chat that I don't know all the info for it. Maybe you do, Jess, about Spider-Verse hardcover.
Oh, Spider-Verse. Holy guacamole. I know all about that. This will be our last question because we both got to go. Spider-Verse, you need to go. I have a copy of it, and it is full of sticky notes. You need to go Google Spider-Verse reading order. You need to Google Spider-Verse reading order because it's printed not in order that you should be reading it. It's printed in the order of the comic books, like whatever, Spider-Man 1 through 3 and Spider-Verse 1 through 3.
Together. Yeah, it's all the titles are together.
Correct. All the titles are together, but the titles, the storyline is told like Spider-Man 1, Spider-Verse 1, Revenge of Spider-Man 1, whatever. And so you got a sticky note. Literally, Spider-Verse is nothing but sticky notes where you have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to read it. It's a very disruptive read. But now Ryley, on the other hand, just read it straight through and said he was fine. I sticky noted the whole thing according to the reading order I found on Google. I spent an hour sticky noting it in the reading order that I found on Google, and I was fine. It was disruptive, but it was fine. But it would have been a lot easier had they printed it in the reading order instead of the title order.
Yeah, I heard a podcast with Dan Slott once, and he said he gets people who bring that book to his signings, and they're all sticky noted up. And he says that they did it the way they did it. It's because they didn't want to break up the art, because all the titles have like the same artist in it, I guess, or whatever. But again, yeah, it's apparently you could do it one way or the other. I guess it's a preference thing. Do you want to read it in direct time frame, or are you okay just reading it all the way through and just kind of piecing it together yourself? But I'm out of here, Jess. I'll talk to you later. But
okay. Just Mason said I read mine not in order and was fine. So it's up to you. You can Google it and maybe read it straight through first time, and maybe Google it. And if you didn't enjoy it reading it straight through, Google it and sticky note it up and read it that way. I'm going to try and read it straight through again. after the sticky noted way and see if I get it. It's an important book to read because it wraps up the whole thing. So you have to read it. Because it ends the whole the whole trying to kill all the Spider-Man storyline. So to end this, thank you to the chat. You guys were great. This ended up being a great question and answer session. We didn't cover any news at all, but it doesn't matter. You guys had great questions, and we had about 98% of the answers. ETL found us the answer we didn't have. And ETL, I love you still. All we had was a difference of opinion. That doesn't matter. Differences of opinion don't matter on this show. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You can find Gabe on Gabe Infinity Watch on YouTube, and you can find me, Omnidog, on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube. And you can find me on Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram. So thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And peace and love, peace and love. This was a fun show. We loved answering your questions. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.